Number 3, multiple choice, as you see here. So again, there's formulas that you need to know in order to convert this over into rectangular. So in case you didn't get these already, it's x equals r cosine, y equals r sine theta, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So those are going to be the 3 formulas that you need in order to convert this. So we want to look at what's written here. We have r sine minus 4, then we have this, and we have this. So it looks like we can just substitute directly in on this one. Now if you have r squared and cosine squared, we can write that as r cosine quantity squared, which means that this is going to turn into an x squared. This will be a y, and that's going to be a minus 4x. So let's go ahead and write that out now using these substitutions. So we're going to have a y minus 4 is going to equal x squared minus 4x. So we have some equations here that are solved for y. So let's go ahead and solve for y on this. We're going to add 4 to both sides. So we get y equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. So it almost looks like this one, but unfortunately that's not it because there's a minus here and there's a plus there instead. So that's not the right answer. Now before we go ahead and put none of the above, let's go ahead and see if we can do a little bit more with this. Notice that D is also not going to be the correct answer because D is in polar. You want to convert this to rectangular. So that's one that we can eliminate right away. So now I know B and D are no good. So now we need to see maybe if we can turn this into something where there's a quantity squared. All right, now that is something we can do here because this is something we can factor. So let's factor this. Now that's going to factor into x minus 2 and x minus 2. 2 factors that multiply to make positive 4 and add to be negative 4 will be negative 2, negative 2. And then that one we can also write as a square, x minus 2 quantity squared there, which means answer, choice C, is going to be the correct answer. So that answers the first question. This is the rectangular form. Now this question will also ask you for what kind of graph is this with our answer. Okay, and so that's the second part of the question, which I'll write over here. Okay, so again, the second question, what kind of graph is this? Okay, and there might be some multiple choice there for you to choose, but for this, we notice that here, even back over here, we notice that only one of the variables is being squared. And so the rules that we talked about in the section with hyperbolas in the notes talks about how we can classify and know what kind of graph it is. And so because there's only one variable squared, that means that this is going to be a parabola. Okay, so parabola, that's the kind of graph that is. Again, the reason why? Because only one variable is squared in this case. So that's why we know it's a parabola.